live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to visit Brunei and Singapore to further New Delhi's Act East policy and its vision of the Indo-Pacific. Massive protests sweep Israel as frustration mounts over failure to secure a Gaza ceasefire deal. Trade unions strike work. Political upheaval in Germany as the far-right Alternative for Germany is projected to win its first ever provincial election in the country's post-war history. And India adds 9th medal to its kitty as Nitesh wins gold in para badminton at Paris Paralympics 2024. So India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be in Brunei Darussalam, a Southeast Asian country, on a 2-day visit starting 3rd of September. Our correspondent Munmun Bhattacharya reports from its capital city, Bandar Seri Begawan, on what to expect from the visit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Brunei Darussalam, a tiny state situated on the northern coast of the island of Borneo along the South China Sea starting Tuesday. This visit is going to be significant because it's going to be the first ever bilateral visit of an Indian Prime Minister to Brunei Darussalam. This visit also coincides with 40th anniversary of establishment of diplomatic ties between India and Brunei Darussalam.
On day one of the visit, PM Modi will inaugurate the Indian Chancery building at Bandar Seri Begawan, the capital of Brunei Darussalam. After the inauguration, the Indian High Commission will function from the new Chancery building. On the same day, he will visit the Sultan Omar Ali Saifuddin Mosque, named after the father of the current monarch, Sultan Haji Hassan al-Bolkiah. On the next day, Prime Minister Modi will meet Sultan Haji Hassan al-Bolkiah and members of the royal family at the Royal Palace. Both sides will also hold delegation-level talks, engage on all existing areas of cooperation, and also explore avenues for cooperation in newer sectors. Both the leaders have met on a number of occasions. They first met on the sidelines of the 25th ASEAN Summit at Naypyidaw in November 2014, and then on the sidelines of the East Asia Summit in 2017 in Manila. In January 2018, they met in New Delhi on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee of ASEAN-India Dialogue Partnership. Sultan Haji was among the heads of state and governments who witnessed India's Republic Day parade. The relationship between India and Brunei has steadily evolved, with defense cooperation being a key component. The exchange of naval visits and the participation of Bruneian nationals in various capacity-building courses in India underscore the growing defense and educational ties between the two countries. Trade relationship is important, especially in the context of India's energy security, because every year India imports crude oil worth $500 to $600 million from Brunei Darussalam, which is rich in oil and gas reserves. Both sides also cooperate in space and health sectors and promote people-to-people exchanges. The presence of a vibrant Indian diaspora in Brunei, particularly in the oil and gas industries, construction and healthcare sectors, further strengthens the bilateral relationship. Ties between the two countries are important even from a regional perspective. Brunei Darussalam was the country coordinator for India in ASEAN for 3 years, from July 2012 to June 2015, and played an important role in bringing India closer to ASEAN.
As India continues to implement its Act East policy, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Brunei Darussalam is expected to reinforce India's strategic footprint in the Southeast Asian region, fostering greater cooperation in key sectors and also paving the way for a more integrated and prosperous Indo-Pacific region. With cameraman Kumar Datta, this is Munmun Bhattacharya from Brunei Darussalam for DD India.
And briefing media on the Prime Minister's visit to Brunei, India's External Affairs Ministry said that the Southeast Asian country is an important partner of India's Act East policy.
Brunei is an important partner for India's Act East policy and our vision for the Indo-Pacific. And as we mark a decade of our Act East policy this year, the visit assumes additional significance. Brunei has been our country coordinator in ASEAN from 2012 to 2015 and played a key role in our further engagements with ASEAN and continues to do so today.
After Brunei, Prime Minister Modi will visit Singapore at the invitation of his Singaporean counterpart. The Prime Minister's visit is aimed to strengthen India-Singapore strategic partnership and exchange views on regional and global issues of mutual interest.
From the point of trade and investment also, the Prime Minister's visit to Singapore is very significant. Singapore is India's largest trade partner in ASEAN, and it is a leading source of foreign direct investment. Singapore is India's sixth largest trade partner worldwide and the largest source of FDI during the last financial year.
So during his visit, the Indian Prime Minister will interact with business leaders from Singapore as well. India will engage with Singapore in the semiconductor sector.
Singapore is very well plugged into the global semiconductor ecosystem. It has experience of more than 20 years in this area. This is an area where we are very keen to get into, and already we are seeing how we can cooperate with Singapore. Singapore is already setting up facilities in India, and there will be many other areas of the semiconductor industry itself which will be discussed and cooperation moved forward during the visit.
And now we are tracking breaking news coming in from Paris Paralympics 2024. Indian shuttler Nitesh Kumar has clinched gold medal para badminton in SL3 category at the Paris Paralympics. Nitesh defeated Great Britain's Daniel Bethel in the final on Monday, and with this, India has secured its 9th medal at the Paris Paralympics. Earlier, Nitesh Kumar stormed into the final of the men's singles SL3 category as he defeated Fujihara Daisuke of Japan 21-16, 21-12. So here we have the 9th Paralympic medal coming from Paris. And to get more inputs on the story, we're now joined by DD India's Deepika Mehto. Nitesh Kumar here, joining the footsteps of Pramod Bhagat. Tell us about his journey.
Good evening, Tanvi. This is a great news for India when we talk about India's performance at the ongoing Paris Paralympics, because India has not only added its 9th medal on day 5 of Paris Paralympics, but it has also secured its yet another golden glory at the ongoing Paris Paralympics. And this time the glory has been achieved by Nitesh Kumar, who plays in SL3 para badminton category of Paris Paralympics. Interestingly, Tanvi, this is also Nitesh Kumar's maiden Paralympics event. He is a IIT Mandi graduate from India, and Mandi is from Himachal Pradesh, and he's an IIT graduate, and then he suffered through an accident, and and after that he made a superb comeback. He played para badminton, and then he eventually started practicing even more at the Asian Games. Also, he won a medal for himself, and now coming into the Paris Paralympics, he's registered his maiden victory, and that too with the golden glory at the Paris Paralympics in SL3 category. And earlier, before that, he defeated his Japanese opponent in straight sets, which was also not a very easy feat for him. Also, Nitesh is seeded at number 1 position when we talk about at SL3 category at this particular event of Paris Paralympics in SL3 para badminton category, and he has finally succeeded it. We were talking to Gaurav Khanna also, who's a para badminton coach and also a Dronacharya awardee, and he was very confident that India will reach a double-digit mark in the sport of para badminton itself. And now we can see that happening because many medals are coming in the evening, also in the late evening. We are expecting IAS officer Suhas Yatiraj to play his gold medal match. He secured a medal in Tokyo Paralympics also, so the hopes are really high that he will also be able to add another and 10th medal to India's medal kitty at the ongoing Paris Paralympics. Tanvi.
Yes, great news there. Nitesh Kumar bringing golden glory from Paris Paralympics. Thank you very much, Deepika Mehto, for joining in with those updates. All right, moving on. Union Cabinet has approved the Digital Agriculture Mission with a total investment of 2,817 crore rupees. There are two foundation pillars in the project, which are Agri-Stack and Krishi Decision Support System. They've also approved an outlay of 2,291 crore rupees for strengthening agricultural education, management and social sciences.
Agricultural education और मैनेजमेंट और सोशल साइंसेज जो रिलेटेड है, इनको कैसे स्ट्रेंथन किया जाए। और 5 बड़े इसमें पिलर्स हैं। पहला है कि ये सारा का सारा काम इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ एग्रीकल्चरल रिसर्च के गाइडेंस में ओवरऑल देश भर में होगा, जिसमें स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स भी कंट्रीब्यूट करेगी, एग्रीकल्चरल यूनिवर्सिटीज़ भी कंट्रीब्यूट करेगी, और सारा फोकस रहेगा कि न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के हिसाब से और आज की जो लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं उसके आधार पे कैसे एजुकेशन को, एग्रीकल्चरल एजुकेशन को स्ट्रेंथन किया जाए और किसानों के पास कैसे ये सब नॉलेज पहुंचे।
The Indian Cabinet also approved a 309-kilometer-long new line project providing the shortest rail connectivity between two major commercial hubs, Mumbai and Indore. This will be completed by 2028-29.
ओवरऑल इंदौर, भोपाल और उत्तर प्रदेश के झांसी, आगरा, कानपुर, लखनऊ, वाराणसी और उसके और भी ऊपर जो सीमांचल एरिया है हमारे, जो उत्तर प्रदेश के नेपाल की बॉर्डर के साथ जुड़ते हुए एरियाज हैं, उन सब को सीधा एक कनेक्टिविटी के लिए पूरा एक एक्सेस मिलेगा, जिसमें इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट हो पाएगा, लोगों को आने जाने को सुविधा मिलेगी, और खासकर जो मुंबई भारत का जो फाइनेंशियल कैपिटल है, इसको मुंबई को एक्सेस इस पूरे एरिया के लिए अच्छी मिलेगी।
Another major decision has been taken with the approval of one more semiconductor unit of Keynes Semicon Private Limited under India's Semiconductor Mission, which will be set up in Gujarat.
इस प्लांट में 6.3 मिलियन पर डे चिप्स पर डे, यानी 63 लाख चिप्स पर डे की प्लांट की कैपेसिटी होगी। 46 एकर्स में प्लांट बनेगा। करीब करीब इसका जितना प्रोडक्शन होगा वो प्रोडक्शन ऑलरेडी किन इंडस्ट्रीज में जाएगा वो बुक हो चुका है, और अच्छा इसका टेक्नोलॉजी आएगी। इसमें पावर से रिलेटेड चिप्स होती है जो ट्रेन सेट्स में लगती है, आपके ऑटोमोबाइल्स में लगती है, और घर में जो अप्लायंसेस होते हैं उसमें लगती है। वो सारी चिप्स भी इस वाले प्लांट में बनेगी।
In 1983, first-generation entrepreneur Dr. Pramod Chaudhary founded the Praj Industries, specializing in agri-processing, foreseeing India's future need for biofuels as fossil fuel supplies are dwindling. Known as the ethanol man, Chaudhary emphasized that biofuels rooted in agricultural inputs uplift farmers and help combat climate change with low carbon emissions. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya had an exclusive conversation with Praj Industries ethanol man.
It's more than a decade now when you guys started ethanol blending and everything on this sector. How has been the journey? There were difficulties, but now everybody is now talking about biofuel, and you are the ethanol man of the country.
Yes, what you say is right. It has happened very in a haphazard manner, or in a though 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. But now it is reasonably settled down.
What are the major components where you think that we as a country need to work more?
Oh, that's a very good question. See, we call the movement is FTP, feedstock, technology and product. So products are identified and there's no dearth of products. Main thing is technology and feedstock. So technology we are taking care of it. But feedstock jahan tak hai, I think we have to keep little more eyes open and efforts open to make them available for processing.
This biofuel economy, the whole gamut, the whole circular economy is expected to be a major game changer for them.
Yes, very much. There are two ways of looking at it. We say that they are no more annadatta, they are urja datas. So that is, we are elevating their position. The second part is that if they put some more effort and take variety of feedstocks, raw materials, they will prosper out of that. And so the both things put together can really make a wonder.
What kind of economy you are looking at? You believe that it's more than a 500 billion sort of economy? What kind of, for your company and for India, what kind of numbers that we are talking?
So it is $300 billion worth.
So you believe that it's a $300 billion business for the country?
Yeah, for the time being. It will go further up.
How much can it go up?
It can go double of that because see, you talk about business coming out of percentage, and if you increase the percentage, it goes up automatically. So like that, it is multiplying.
Right. So here you had Mr. Pramod Chaudhary, the chairman of Praj Industries, well known as the eternal man of India, saying that it's a $300 billion industry and it is expected to grow further in years to come, making sure that India is self-reliant in this sector. With Camperson Uttam, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
You're watching DD India Live, still to come on this show. Russian missile attack rocks Kiev and other parts of Ukraine, damaging homes and infrastructure. Actors George Clooney and Brad Pitt take the ongoing Venice Film Festival by storm, courtesy their film Wolves.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I am Tanvi Taneja. On to Israel now. Massive protests have erupted across the country after bodies of 6 hostages were recovered from a tunnel in southern Gaza. The demonstrators demanded that the government reach a ceasefire deal with Hamas to free Israeli captives. They also accused the government, led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, of failing to save the remaining hostages. On Saturday, the Israel Defense Forces said that 6 bodies were found in the Rafah area of southern Gaza, and all of them were murdered by Hamas terrorists in a number of shots at close range. 48 to 72 hours before their bodies were discovered, their deaths leave 101 Israeli and foreign captives still in Gaza, but around a third of these are known to have died, with the fate of others unknown. Israel's labor court on Monday ruled that a general strike that shut much of the country's economy must end at 2:30 p.m. local time. The Israeli economy has come to a standstill due to a one-day general strike called by a major trade union to put pressure on the government to reach a deal with Hamas. Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion Airport has halted flights amid the strike. Hospitals were partially operational, banks were closed, and services at many private sectors were affected. Earlier, a top labor union leader urged all civilian workers to join the strike. The union represents some 800,000 workers in areas such as healthcare, transportation, and banking. The strike is the first of its kind since Hamas's initial attack on Israel. Now, thousands of demonstrators also gathered at New York's Central Park to pay tribute to 6 Israeli hostages killed in Gaza and to call for the return of others still held captive. Participants held photographs of the hostages and banners with messages such as "Bring our children home." The crowd sang Israel's national anthem and chanted for the safe return of the captives. The event featured speeches from relatives of hostages, including the father of slain Israeli-American Harish Goldberg Polin. On to the other conflict, between Russia and Ukraine. Russia has launched missile strike on Ukraine's capital, Kiev. The strike comes as a new school term began in Ukraine. Ukraine's air defense unit said that they destroyed more than 10 cruise and ballistic missiles. Air raid alerts were sounded all over Ukraine for nearly 2 hours. Neighboring NATO member Poland activated its aircraft to keep its airspace safe during the attacks. Ukraine, on its part, has launched attack on the Russian border city of Belgorod. Schools in the region will hold online classes after the strike destroyed a childcare facility. Kindergartens would remain shut for a week. Russia's air defense unit said that they destroyed one Ukraine-launched drone overnight. Ukraine has been mounting an attack on Belgorod in a bid to target key Russian infrastructure. Addressing school children in Kyzyl, Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday said that Kiev's incursion into Russia's Kursk region will not stop Moscow's advance in East Ukraine. The aim was to familiarize the students with Russian traditional and moral values.
The concept was to halt our offensive in the main areas in Donbass. The outcome is known. Yes, our people face difficult ordeal, especially in Kursk region. But the enemy failed to achieve its primary goal to stop our offensive in Donbass. Now it is not about advancing 200 or 300 meters forward. We did not have such rates of advance in Donbass for a long time. The Russian armed forces reclaim under their control not 200 or 300 square meters of territories, but square kilometers.
Further east in Europe, Germany's far-right party is set to win a state election for the first time post the Second World War in the country's east and looked set to finish a very close second in another. Exit polls showed that the far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD, won 32.8% of the vote in Thuringia, well ahead of the centre-right Christian Democratic Union, CDU, the main national opposition party, with 23.6% in Sunday's regional elections. The results look punishing for Social Democrat Chancellor Olaf Scholz's coalition ahead of the national elections next year.
I think the mood is very clear. People want change in Thuringia. People don't want things to just carry on as they have been. They don't want this cartel party system to carry on. Their change is not being brought about, but where rather Germany is being governed into the ground and Thuringia is being governed into the ground.
Meanwhile, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz called the results of 2 regional elections bitter and urged mainstream parties to form governments without right-wing extremists. Scholz, in a statement, said that the results for the Alternative for Germany in Saxony and Thuringia are worrying. The German Chancellor blamed AfD for damaging the country. He added that the AfD is weakening the economy, dividing society and ruining Germany's reputation. On to Africa now. Dozens of feverish patients lay on thin mattresses on the floor of an Mpox isolation ward in East Democratic Republic of Congo as hospital workers grappled with drug shortages and lack of space to accommodate the patients. Congo is the epicenter of an Mpox outbreak that the World Health Organization declared to be a global public health emergency last month. Vaccines are set to arrive within days to fight the new strain of the virus, while $10 million have been dispersed to fight the outbreak. And now let's look at other stories making news across the world. Indonesia has ramped up its security measures ahead of Pope Francis' visit to the country. The 9,000-strong contingent, which includes elites from both military and police, will be overseeing the security of Pope, who is on a 4-day visit to the country starting Tuesday. Search is underway for a 14-year-old French teenager who disappeared during a hike on Mount Batukaru. He went missing since past week in Bali. The teenager was on vacation in Bali and had climbed Mount Batukaru. He went missing during the descent. And South Korea and the United States are conducting joint drills called Sangyong along Korea's eastern coast to build up combat readiness and interoperability. This year's exercise will continue till September the 7th. Both the countries have been holding joint exercises since 2012. And Venice Film Festival witnessed a host of famous actors and actresses at the premiere of the movie Wolves on Sunday evening. The event saw actors George Clooney and Brad Pitt grace the event, who are reuniting on screen 16 years after their last film together in 2008. The festival will come to a close on September the 7th. That's all for this edition of DD India Live. Do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. Connect with us on our different social media platforms. And for those on the go, you can catch all the latest news and updates on our DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. So we will be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Tanvi Taneja from my entire team here in New Delhi. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.